Hi, and welcome to Two Tired Teachers.
We are coming at you from Ark Encounter, and actually we're filming this sitting in the parking lot here. And this was a bonus stop for us on our trip through the Ozarks.
We're in the Kentucky part of the Ozarks.
Yeah, it doesn't exist. But anyway, this was something we had talked about. It's south of Cincinnati, north of Lexington, and we were over in the Hoosier National Forest, and a friend of ours said they were here, and we're like, wait a minute, we meant to go there. First of all, parking is $10 for a normal vehicle and $15 for oversized.
Yes.
And when you park, you then walk to a building where you board a bus that takes you down to a visitor center. And that whole area has, I'll show you a little map of that area. But you go in the visitor center and it's a gift shop. The Ark is actually then obviously outside. You go across a fairly large area. And
25 miles. If you have any mobility problems at all, I encourage you to rent a little scooter, which is $38 as of this filming. Or if you've got somebody who loves your bunches and will push, a wheelchair for $12.
Seeing the actual size of the Ark is impressive.
Yes, it is.
That is kind of the wow factor.
Yes.
And honestly, one of my favorite things was just seeing how massive this structure was and standing there and having, just thinking a man and his 3 sons built this.
Because when you read about...
Well, not that one, but the original.
It's supposed to be so many cubics long and so many cubics high and so many cubics wide.
300 by 30 by 50. I paid attention.
Unless you are really well versed in what a royal cubic is, you don't know the measurements. That makes no sense to you.
And throughout the Ark exhibit, the lighting is subdued, which I liked. I thought too. That was very good.
And it's amber, like it might have been candles burning.
Yeah, and so that was something that I really liked. They had examples or of what some of the cages, would have been like, and some of the animals that are now extinct that would have been on the Ark. And the sound effects throughout were very good.
I like those.
You got kind of this, wood creaking some, and the
Thunder and lightning.
Animal noises, etc. No, I heard the lightning. But that was a very, very positive thing. And even inside, there are places where you just get that feel of how massive this vessel was. And they have different
exhibits
that you can see of, perhaps their living quarters, what they may have looked like. Some of the the storage, I think they were RVers because they used every inch of storage to have different kinds of grains or water containers. And that was something that they did have a possible, the things that aren't written down, it's what may have been, of the water collection and waste disposal. And it was interesting.
Yes.
And just the process of the filming of this, we'll go on and tell you, it is, I think, $49. And this was my first old age discount, but I actually got in for it. So we were $39 a piece. I am glad we did it.
I am too. I would not have taken for it. It's a great experience.
It was very interesting, and there was just I think it's something you could see multiple times and still not see everything. But it wasn't all positive, and we're going to go on and kind of give you our view of the situation, and it may be the day we were here. This is a Thursday in October, so I don't know what would have been special about that. But and going on with the positive, when you finish, of course, you can finish there in another gift shop, and there are restaurants and things like that you can do. But they have a zoo, which is really it's kind of a small zoo. But I petted a kangaroo,
Right.
and petted a goat. Which, if you're from Texas and have actually had a goat before, that really wasn't that big a deal, but still, just had to go do it. And they had, burros and a camel. There are camel rides. Some days it's just 12 and under. We thought we'd be there first in line, but one lady was willing to stand in line 45 minutes, and we weren't, so I skipped the camel ride. But there are other things that are out there as well.
Yes.
It was crowded.
It was very crowded, and I was not alone on the scooters.
Yeah, there were a lot of. They rent those scooters, I think, on every floor.
Yes, they do.
And but anyway, there were a lot of people, and there are times you're just having to wait. You would think of something that massive, you wouldn't, but they've got it where you go a certain way, and so you just kind of wait. And in my opinion, I feel like at some point they lost focus.
I do too, because they included too much.
Part of it I can understand, but we went from creation
And the fall
of man through Noah, the flood, and all the way through Bible history.
Yes.
We had exhibits for that. And so that was kind of, I felt like they used too broad of a brush there.
Right.
And so that was one thing. And then honestly, I kind of understand why, but it doesn't mean that it makes it something that I necessarily like. This is a theme park, folks.
Yeah, there's zip lining. There's a virtual reality ride, which I would have loved to have done, but with COVID, putting a mask that far down on your nose, I'm not going to do it. And over your eyes.
And that was something I was shocked at, is how few people were wearing masks. And there were times, I'm basically facing a big beam trying to not face people who aren't wearing masks. But that's nothing that the people here, well, they could have their employees wearing masks, which none of them were. But I guess that kind of, those are the two things that I hope you realize on our channel, we're going to try and give you our honest assessment. Yes. And those would be the two things I feel like were a bit negative.
The other thing is, I'm not sure they had enough for little kids. And I think because it's Noah's Ark and the story that children are very familiar with, I think they should have had more geared toward the kids.
The one thing we went through that was for little kids, which we enjoyed. Everybody was going through it. It was like a little haunted area. I don't know. It was
spooky Ark thing.
At least have something like that on each level. You go on 3 levels in the Ark. There is a 4th level that there's no access to.
There are only 3 levels that you're supposed to go on.
Right, but then there is a 4th level. Yes. You can see that it's there. Yeah, that's what I thought I said. But anyway, we are glad we came.
Oh, yes.
We're glad we did this, but just to kind of be forewarned, it is, like we said, a theme park. I think if we were here in the summer, there'd be even more theme park kind of stuff going on. But,
Sharon walks regularly, and if she'd walked at her own pace, it would have still taken at least 3 hours to get there.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of walking in there, which was, it was fine. And that tour, the entire time you're in the Ark, you are inside. Yes. And so that's good. But that's our opinion. We are glad we came. But there were some things that kind of surprised us, and so that's
The Christmas trees. That surprised me.
well, and let's face it. I looked at this is a theme park kind of a place, so things that they sell, they're selling at the prices that they could sell at theme parks. Yes, I am trying to conserve money. And so I don't mind. And you can choose. I mean, we heard other people going out to their cars to have lunch.
Yes.
If we wanted to go back in, we've still got our bracelets. We could. I'm not making that hike. But it's something where you can come and spend the day, go out to your RV, take a nap, go back in for something else. But it was interesting. I'm glad we came.
I wouldn't come again. But I'm glad we came this time.
Yeah. So, anyway, it was something I was really interested in as they were building it and kind of kept an eye out on the things that they were doing with it. And so when we found out that we were just a few hours away, said, hey, let's add that stop. And so we did. And probably adding in Lincoln's birthplace, too, since we're over this far. So, anyway, those are our thoughts and views, and we don't want anyone to say we didn't like Noah. We did. But these are the,
Or that we didn't like the Ark Encounter. Overall, we did.
Yeah, we did. But, these are just our opinions and our views. And, if you're in the area and you can afford to take the tour, or it's actually not a tour, you walk through it at your own pace and see it. Definitely do. It's something to see. But like she said, we're probably not going to head back here. But we're glad we did. Thanks for watching Two Tired Teachers.